Let's get it on. What's up, everybody? It's us, the Tip Touch Podcast, back at you again with another brand new episode. As always, I have my awesome co-host Brett here in the motherfucking virtual studio, and of course, Eduardo. Yeah, here we are again, man. What's up with you, brother? I mean, shit. I'll tell you, I just got back from meeting our boy Brad. I am super stuffed. We actually had a little Korean barbecue. We ate like fucking kings. I just want to put that out there. So I am fucking stuffed. They gave me more of my money's worth of food, and it was amazing. So yeah, I'll tell you right now. I just had to let that be known to the world and let everybody know Korean barbecue is the shit.
Nice. Now, okay, Korean barbecue. Tell me, I've never actually had it. So, what's the difference between Korean and like Southern barbecue?
So,
Texas barbecue.
So pretty much, you go into the restaurant, right? They give you a menu of the different meats that you want, and it's so for the place we went to, they charged you, I think it was like roughly like $26 a person. But here's the what you get in after those $26 per person. You get your choices of 5 different meats, and it's unlimited, dude. They just keep bringing it in. You cook it yourself on this little grill they have there, dude. And dude, you just grill as much as you want until you can go.
Barbecue, like, what does the barbecue taste like? I've heard that it's sweet.
This one wasn't much sweet. It had some seasoning on it. It kind of had like a little bit of soy sauce. But it wasn't like anything sweet.
Okay.
It was really good.
Okay.
I
Cool.
really like it, man. I mean, we should definitely, definitely do Korean barbecue sometime, man. We'll go out and we'll freaking eat like kings as well, man. But it's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm
So yeah,
down with
man.
that.
I just got back from chopping it up with our boy Brad. Check him out, Spot the Fire. But yeah, dude, we were just talking about what he's doing on his half on his things, dude. And dude, he's expanding, man. He's trying to make some moves, and he's definitely trying to kind of put himself out there and promote himself. So huge shout out to that. And it's awesome to see him progress and take it from where he first started till now. So yeah, he showed me his inventory of stuff that he has, and dude, he's got some nice stuff, man. So definitely, bro. Yeah, what's up with you, bro?
Well, I mean, just before we go into that, it's just regarding Brad, it's just so cool watching him grow, watching everything that he's doing. It's like, that's what it's all about. I love that we caught him before we spotted the fire when it was a spark. You know what I mean?
Like two cavemen when they're rubbing the rocks together.
Oh man, yeah, little twig and yeah.
Do you know how to do that?
It's just cool because what?
You know how to do? Sorry to
no.
You know how to do the little twig fire thing?
I would die. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I need some butane. Butane in a cigar. That's the only way I know how to. Or
flick it.
Or the pyrotechnics in California at a gender reveal party. Either way. Those are the only ways I know how to start a fire.
We're fucking coming out hot right now, baby. Let's go. That's what we love about the Tip Touch Podcast, man. You just come out hot.
Boy. So no, I mean, but it's so cool just watching, like with Brad, how he was just we caught him in the beginning. We caught him before he was big, and then he's getting big right before our eyes. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. So, dude, one thing I got to just put out there, man, it's insane that this year is moving along so fucking quick. Like, we're already in October, dude. I mean, October, November, December, dude. And 2020, to wrap up this year and to really kind of look back at it, I feel like when we get to the point of it being New Year's or New Year's Eve, this year's been such a fucking reflection of just, it was like a fucking storm. We just braced ourselves, tucked our necks in, and just like, okay, we're gonna just go in and fucking see what happens. And dude, it's just insane, dude. The time is just flying overall. That's where I'm trying to get to. But yeah,
it's been rough, dude. It's been rough. And I mean, it's like 2020 is something that, I mean, unless you're Jeff Bezos, we've all been sort of like, man, this sucks. Like this has been a painful year for most of us.
Yeah.
And I mean, not just in America, but in the world. The world is just, I mean, it's just, although I will say, like, I was a little bit upset when I saw that picture of all the people at Wuhan having that party, that swimming party, they were all just like next to each other.
Fucking having an amazing fucking time. Just
no mask in sight.
No mask,
and I'm like,
nothing.
Wait a minute. Something isn't adding up here.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Oh, sorry. That is my heartburn kicking in. I have been drinking all day long, and I don't know, just that happens. No, I'm just kidding. No, so you had Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
I had Popeyes, and I do the
Oh
spicy
damn,
chicken
fucking Chris.
sandwich.
Oh
And
dude,
yeah, I
still the
mean,
same?
dude, it's like what was Christina Aguilera like? She was Genie in the Bottle, like that song, and she was like, my my heart is saying, or no, my body's saying yes, but my heart is saying no.
Yeah.
Yeah. My
Exactly the
tongue
same
was
feeling.
saying yes, but my stomach was saying hell no.
No, hail to
So
the
I've been just like
nulls.
just taking the Tums down, you know?
Yeah.
Fun.
Is it still as good as when you remembered it when you tried it on like that very first time?
Well, now I mean I've had it. I mean I love it.
Yeah. Straight out. I just
I
love it.
just love it. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
and it sucks because like Chick-fil-A was always my favorite, you know. I mean, I just remember the first time I had Chick-fil-A, but then that spicy chicken at Popeye, I'm like, I'm kind of hooked. I'm
Yeah.
hooked.
Okay.
And it was that it was your thing when you were showing me those videos of those people just like eating with all those microphones and
Oh, dude, the fucking
you
ASMR.
could hear everything.
I still need to do something like that, like a Tip Tips podcast ASMR edition.
I
Just
just
us
did.
fucking going at it on food, dude.
Just
Six
mowing
Max
down.
all around.
We'll do that. Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that when we do our Korean barbecue. We'll have like
Oh, dude.
mics all around us.
Yeah, man. For real.
You
It's
can hear my heavy breathing.
heavy breathing of like you before you have a fucking heart attack.
Mm.
Uh, speaking of, they just opened a what is it, Chick-fil-A close by where you live, huh?
Yeah, over in I think it's 88th on
Yeah.
88th Street,
Is it
right
open
there,
already?
sort of by um Applebee's. Um my wife has been there. Yeah, she
Okay.
got actually her work gave her a card for 50 free meals.
50
And
free meals?
yeah, dude.
Holy
Yeah.
moly.
Bowling. so so
Definitely.
but
Holy
we
moly.
haven't but I haven't tried it, and I think I don't know what it was. Oh, it was because the lines were just
Oh,
so
dude.
big. But I went to Hagen's the other day and to get Tums,
Mhm.
and there was like nobody in the line. And I'm like, oh sweet, I should just pop in there real quick, but
Yeah.
decided not to.
You know, one of the things that I really like from that place is that the customer service is really good, like they say it is. Two, their sauces are really good.
Oh.
Um, the food, I don't know, man. I had it. It was okay. It was good. I wouldn't say it was something for me to say, man, this is well worth me, being in line for this. Not, I can't really say that. I might have to try different things off the menu, but it wasn't really something mind-boggling. Like
Mm.
this was, worth it. So, but other than that, it was cool. I mean, I tried it. It was it's cool.
Yeah. Are there any restaurants you've ever went to that was like you had low expectations and you came out and you're like, damn.
Man, I probably have, but I just really can't think of them right off the rip. But those are always like the best experiences because, like you said, you just go in with their mindset like you're not really expecting it to be mind blowing or anything,
Mm-hmm.
and you walk out of there and you're like, "Fuck, you actually want to go back there a couple of times." I'll tell you what, though, I think I've mentioned this before to you. I think I have, but anyways, there's this actual really good Cuban restaurant sandwich up kind of by Northgate area. And I'll tell you what, bro. Okay, this is how good a restaurant is, right? We
Okay.
stopped by. Me and my wife went by there one day, and I'm like, hey, let's try it because I've been hearing really good stuff about it. Because I was on this kick before. I was actually watching videos of people reviewing food, like when they go to different countries and try it. So I always follow this one guy. He came over here to Seattle just to try the sandwich. So he goes to the sandwich spot and he buys it and he's just talking about how good it is, explaining the flavors and the tenderness of the meat. I'm like, I gotta fucking hit this up since it's local. We went and we picked up one sandwich, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna split it with my wife. I'm eating my half, dude. It was so good to the point where like I started eating her half,
Mm.
so she wouldn't notice. And I'm like, oh yeah, here's your piece, and it's all like bitten down, like almost more than And but we actually went back and got like three more to go. It was that good, dude. It
Really?
was that good, man. I'm not even exaggerating, but it was so
Oh,
bomb.
I
And
mean,
I've been meaning to go back to try it, but see, that's one of the examples where like I've seen it, but I was kind of worried. Like if I go and I'm disappointed, I'm gonna be really kind of fucking pissed off about it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But it was really good. I mean, really good.
All right. Let me switch gears on you. Have
Okay.
you ever went to a restaurant and got food poisoning or anything
Oh,
like that?
yes, I have. And first place that comes to mind, Dick's Burgers, lovely Dick's Burgers. And
No, that's
dude, okay,
blasphemy.
so let
Shut
me
your.
so let me tell you the story. I went to Dick's Burgers one time. It was I think we just said I was with a group of friends like fuck, let's just go get something to eat, get some burgers. And I could tell, like, I remember that the fries weren't like really that. I don't want to say they were well cooked, but they just like seemed kind of funky to me. You know, they were just a little too soggy. Just kind of like they were like the grease was just, it was heavy on the grease or something, dude. So I ate my burger, had my drink, and then later that night, man, I was like, dude, my stomach is killing me. Like I had to go to the bathroom, and I just started like going to the bathroom continuously that night. Bro, I was sick for that whole week, and I remember like puking my brains out. Like it was bad. This is the worst food poison I've ever had in my life, dude.
Yeah.
And it felt like I always explain this pain, but it felt like there was like a multiple amount of blades in my stomach, and it was just carving my insides. It was the worst
Ugh.
experience ever, dude. But
Ugh.
yes, Dick's Burgers. I still go there though. Good burgers. But
Okay.
that one specific location, I don't think they did the fries good at all. But yeah, that
Man.
was my experience, man.
Man. Okay. So there was one time I went to Denny's and
Oh, Denny's.
and it was the same thing. It was not fries, but potatoes. I had hash browns,
Okay.
and like you said, they were not cooked all the way,
Okay.
and they were really crispy on the outside, and I remember them tasting really good. But then I got to the inside and I'm like, man, these things aren't even cooked at all. But that didn't stop my fat ass,
Oh,
right?
dude, you just
So
fuck it.
I'm just mowing down. And so I'm eating, and so that's about like 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then it's about 6 at night, and I'm at work, and I was working at a grocery store. I was working in the dairy department, and I'm like, man, I'm getting that feeling down south that like I'm clenching a little hard,
Yeah.
and I'm like, ooh, this is not good. And then I'm like getting queasy, and just I'm like, I can't make it. I can't
Yeah.
make it. I was supposed to work till 10, So I went to my manager and I said, hey, I don't know what happened, but I am sick really bad. So she's like, yeah, go. So I went, and I made sure that I had a grocery bag, something in my car in case I got sick, because I
Yeah.
had to drive to the next town to get to my house.
Yeah.
And sure enough, about halfway through, I'm on the highway, and we're going like 70, and I'm like, oh God, I might have to pull over, And in Montana, the highway, you could pull over. It's not ideal, but you could.
Yeah.
Unlike here, you can't pull over on the freeway,
Yeah. Sketchy. It's a
And
little too sketchy.
yeah. So I had to. I was like, I couldn't reach the bag, or maybe like I didn't have one. I don't know what it was, but all I know is that I had to pull over because I was feeling the vomit coming up through my throat to the point where I'm like, I just hard pulled over to the shoulder and threw open my door and just leaned out of my car. And I'm like, and it's just going everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. But I wasn't done. But I was done enough. So then I got back, I shut the door, get back on the highway, and I get home, and I just bust in the front door, and I just go right to the bathroom, right? And I'm sitting on the toilet, and I'm just having a heyday. Niagara Falls. And I mean, it was just like chunky and loud, and it hurt. And then I just leaned over into the tub and threw up. I was going out both ends.
Oh my God.
And at the same time. And then finally, and like I'm there for probably a good 30 minutes, just solid
straight.
And
Jesus.
And then I'm just done, and I'm sitting on the toilet, and I was just like I'd just been defeated, Probably feeling like Donald Trump feels like right now when he has COVID.
We're gonna talk about that too. Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll talk about it.
But back to what you're talking, dude. That's talented, man. Not talent in a way where you're like, oh, I'm proud of like what I did that day, but to go out both ends and you're fucking 30 minutes in. That mess must have been horrendous.
It was. Oh God, I don't even like. Okay, so I had to clean the tub. Right,
Okay.
I had to clean the tub, and we're talking like, so I knew it was the potatoes because I could see all of the hash browns just all stringing out, and
Uh,
just like everything was all mixed up, and it just
God.
stunk. Dude, it was the worst. It was the worst. That was the worst. I want to say that was one of the very only few times I've had food poisoning, but
Damn.
it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I think you took the trophy on that against mine. Mine was just pain in the stomach. Had to go to the bathroom constantly. I puked about maybe like 2 times, and that was really it. But it was just constant pain. But
Mhm.
yours was just sounded like fuck, dude. Something was just your body was just trying to like deflect it, and it just did everything it could possible to just get it out of your system, man.
Yep. The only other time I was like, and by that was by far number one with, a distant second place. But second place was me throwing up my guts. What happened was I was out drinking with my friend Justin, and like he was we were going to this comedy club,
Yeah.
and I remember I got in a fight. So he had tequila, and tequila was pretty bad. Like it, well, I don't know. I don't think I've ever had the expensive tequila, so I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
that. But I know that the Jose Cuervo 1800 is just like, I called it Satan's piss because it was just bad. So we started the night drinking Jose,
Yeah.
right? And then at the end of the night, we went to this comedy club, watched a show, and for me, like, I got that tequila and I just got feisty, right? So I was like, I called my girlfriend at the time and just started a fight with her. Just randomly just started a fight with her, slurring my
Okay.
words, da 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 da. Hang up the phone. And then I'm like, and Justin's like, well, we don't have any more of the tequila. We drank all that,
Yeah.
but I do have raspberry vodka.
Oh,
And like,
don't tell me Smirnoff.
I don't know what it was.
Oh, dude, I had a bad
A-
memory about Smirnoff.
All I know is that it was raspberry vodka.
Oh, I think it
And
is Smirnoff.
after we'd already drank at least a fifth of tequila.
Yeah.
And after went to the comedy show, the whole night, and he had these shot glasses in the in the in his glass, or in his cupboard, and these are like, like sarcastic shot glasses, like, oh, here's one shot. It's like it's for 5 shots. It's designed for 5 shots,
Yeah.
and it's just a joke. You're not supposed to truly use
Drink
them.
that. Yeah.
But I was drinking tequila, and I told Justin always could outdrink me, always could outdrink me. And so I told Justin, I said, I'm gonna keep up with you tonight. And then he goes, you know what to do, and he points to the shot glass.
You know.
So I start drinking the raspberry vodka shots out of those glasses.
Jesus,
Right? And so I somehow was able to survive doing that, except I all of a sudden woke up in the middle of the night, like my body was like, you are sick, So same thing. I'm sitting on the toilet and I lean over and I throw up in the tub, in Justin's tub. And then I don't know what happened. Well, I think I passed out is what happened, because I woke up and my pants were down and there was throw up all over the linoleum floor, and it was going down the heater
the
vent.
vents. Oh,
And when I woke up, it was about 6 a.m, and I'm looking at this mess that I just left, and I'm like, oh my God, Justin's gonna kill me. So I wiped everything that I could wipe, cleaned out the tub, cleaned the floor,
yeah.
never touched the inside of the heater. I just
Oh
figured I'd
no.
let him discover that someday.
Just turns it on. It's just, what the hell is that smell? Oh, that must have been horrible, man. That's insane. That is insane. But in the midst of when we were talking about just overall that, you mentioned Donald Trump. Now,
Mm.
let's put this in kind of like a little timeline, how we got to this point, right? And for the people that don't know out there, we're talking about how Donald Trump got diagnosed with COVID. But let's reel it back a little bit and go back in time. All right, the debate. Now, I don't think I never talked to you about this on hand, about what you thought about it and just your initial just opinion on, what went on through it. But I'll let you take the floor first. I mean, what are your initial thoughts? Is it something you expected? Is it something you were just like,
it was okay. So like, if we were looking for any real answers, real, like, okay, where do they stand? I saw that Biden, when it came to the Green New Deal, which is something that if you've done the research, it's an expensive plan. Like, right or wrong, I mean, what they're talking about in this plan is to eliminate airplanes, and and I'm sure, like laws always happen, is the politicians and the elite would always end up being able to fly airplanes, and we wouldn't, and that's basically the way it goes. So anyway, the Green New Deal was the only thing. Now, Biden said that he didn't support it in name, but then again, he kept defending it, but then kept saying that he didn't support it. So I was really confused with that one. As far as Trump, I think he had some good jabs. There was one part where I laughed, where everybody laughed, where the moderator, Chris Wallace, he even laughed. Chris Wallace, not BIG, Fox News, Chris Wallace. And
not Biggie.
Just in case I needed to clarify for people listening. But so he's talking about Trump having these huge crowds, which puts people at risk of COVID and all this, and then Biden having these very small crowds, and that's the joke, is like, you can't even get anybody to come to your crowd, your whatever, your meetings or whatever, the rallies, and and that's when everybody kind of laughed, because it was true. And so that was kind of funny, but really there was like two sides of me. There was one, knowing that Trump as an entertainer, and knowing from what we saw with him in 2016 debating Hillary Clinton, he doesn't really like to go into detail. Trump doesn't like to go into detail. And so where he goes weak in detail, he antes up on entertainment. And so I already had a feeling that's what we were going to see, was that we were going to see a show. Now, he was a lot more aggressive than I thought he was going to be. I didn't know he was going to be so domineering. I mean, it was almost like unwatchable, just because, we historically, we watch these debates and they're supposed to be really boring, really. I mean, they're supposed to be just like, okay, yeah, oh yeah, you got a good point there, and then you're kind of left to decide. There was nothing you could decide on this debate as far as where I stood, other than, like, there was Trump had said, hey, had called Biden out on saying, hey, you don't support law enforcement, you don't support the law. I am law and order. I am endorsed by multiple number of law enforcement groups. You have none. And for me, I thought that was a powerful play, because, if that's true, that's scary because of everything. I mean, we are in one of those areas. We in Seattle, it's out of control. It's just, it's so many people who own businesses in downtown Seattle, in the Capitol Hill neighborhoods, have lost so much money on top of what they already were losing in a pandemic. You throw in these riots and this mob and this looting, and then the city not even supporting them, then that's where it resonates. When you hear someone say, hey, you don't even support law enforcement, and you're in this area that says, yeah, this is what it does. These people may never even get to open their businesses again, because partially because the city mayor and the law enforcement were held back under the mayor's decision. So that's all really I had. I mean, it was just, I want to hear what you have to say, but it wasn't one of those things that in 20 years from now, I'll be like, yeah, remember that debate, that first debate in 2020? This thing is going to, there was nothing, there was very little gained from this debate on both sides.
Yeah. Well, initially for me, I wasn't really planning on watching it. I really didn't watch all of it. I think I watched just bits and pieces when it was on live. But I mean, you're right. I'll have to agree with you on the sense of just you really couldn't really decide, like, partially the Republican side won or the Democratic side won. You couldn't really decipher that. And it was just more of a, like, how can you really have an honest debate with somebody that just kind of talks over you and not letting you answer the question? I mean, let's just keep it on an even playing field here. Let the other point get their point across, and get the other side get their point across. It was just kind of a joke to me. It was like, what did we really get out of this? It was just a fucking show to me. And honestly, I just felt like it was like reality television, and like I just look at it like it was a fucking show. Like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just couldn't take it serious, to be real. The one thing though that I can say, like, a lot of people are kind of taking and I want to ask you about this too. In the debate, they put kind of Trump on the spot. They're like, all right, if you stand against racism and stand against these racist groups, be a president now and say that you don't condemn any of this. And he's saying that he didn't, but stand by, or what did he say? Stand back and stand by, though, or something like that, right?
Yeah, stand back, stand by.
Yeah. So which one is it? That's kind of my thing.
Wrong answer.
Yeah,
sure.
I just feel like the fuck is that? Like, and people ran with it, and they're like, well, here's your president, not fucking doing anything about it. And if you really wanted to so-called have peace on the streets or and just in the whole country, just say, everybody stop with this shit. We need to be, citizens of the U.S., be united. Let's not have any of this, no hatred, blah, blah, blah. But no, it was none of that. So I was just kind of like, okay, that was kind of like, man.
What doesn't get reported though, and I mean, what I've heard, nonstop news going, hard on Trump for he definitely, I think he misspoke right there, because I mean, these things are live, and there were times where Biden misspoke as well. He didn't mean what he said, but he said it, and it's a clip that they get to play. So that's what they do. But to me, so with that, now he has called out racism, bigotry. He has I mean, we're in double digits on how many times he's called out racism, called out the Ku Klux Klan, called out white supremacists. I mean, he's done all this, but it seems like the people that continue to ask the questions, which is the mainstream media, and a lot of the people on, I want to say, the left side of things, it's like he can't say it enough for them. Like, it's almost like when he does say it, they don't believe it, and so they keep asking him, and it's a game to me at that point. But what the media did not report is they have this weird thing where so Biden, Trump said, okay, I'll call out Proud Boys. I want you to call out Antifa. And Biden didn't. In fact, Biden did exactly what everybody's claiming Trump did. He defended them. He says, what are you talking about? He dismissed it completely. Antifa is just an idea, is what Biden says. No. These guys that are with Antifa, and we see it. We see Antifa in action in Seattle, in Portland, all over this country, in these big cities. And everything that you've heard me say on this podcast about this rioting and looting, Antifa is the one in the crosshairs. They're the ones that have. It's like they're the I don't want to say the security, but it's almost like they're the scapegoat, or they're the fall guy for these riots in the city. They're the ones that they're proud to be able to resist, and the Antifa, anti-fascist is what it stands for. But they are very much a group. Now, why there's this belief that it's just an idea, I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, where else could you say that, oh no, what do you say, Christianity is just an idea, but if I say, I'm part of this church, and then all of a sudden you start seeing Christians committing crimes and doing all these things, whether I call myself a group or an idea, it doesn't matter. People are done with it. And so Biden would not denounce it at all. That's where I said, that's why the law enforcement won't support him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and honestly, the other thing too with these debates, you already know who you're voting for. There's nothing that Trump can say that's going to get anybody to sway anybody's votes in his direction. There's nothing that Biden can say that can sway anybody in his direction.
Yeah, it's all selling dreams at that point. Like if they're gonna do that, and I just, like you said, everybody at the end of the day, at the end of the debate, everybody already kind of has an idea who they're gonna go for, and that's that. But one thing I'll say that kind of bit him, or what I say Trump, is that he's over here making fun of Biden wearing a mask and all this, and oh man, little did we know he got it. And what's crazy, I didn't know that Kellyanne Conway got it, and another guy he's
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie got it.
New Jersey.
Melania, the first lady too, got it. Cam Newton got it.
Oh really?
Yeah, he got it. They
Trump?
canceled the game. They canceled. Yeah, right. He must adapt it up with Trump. No, but yeah, it's crazy, man. So now, yeah, it's crazy how that happened overall. And now I was reading a little headline, like a little tidbit of an article saying that they already kind of had an idea, or he might have known he had it, but he never really brought it up or something like that. And they were like, and I mean, now he's in what is it, at the hospital? I don't know which one specifically.
Yep, Walter Reed.
Yeah. So,
Well, it looks like he's doing good. He's been posting videos himself. This
really?
Like Kim Jong-un that like hasn't been heard from in months.
That's weird, man. Yeah, that is weird. And they're saying that his sister, I mean, going off a little on the side note, Kim Jong-un's sister is actually lead dictator right now, right? Like she's actually the one with the power.
They are such a secretive government and society that they are, they're not going to let us know. It's just all speculation. It's what we can get from South Korea, the intel. So
no, but yeah, going back to the president, it's I mean, I'm sure he's going to be masking up after this. I mean,
well, here's the thing, like, you can look at it two ways. So like if this thing does him in, which it doesn't look like it's going to, thank God, because I would never, like, I don't care who our president is. I don't want any of our presidents to die in office, from anything, from nothing. And say he beats this thing and he's, it's just a little cold, whatever, right? Now he's going to come out with that much more ammo.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking about that too.
And close society, close your businesses, don't go outdoors, close the schools, He's going to say, look, I'm 70. What is he? 74, 74. Yeah. I got it and I made through it, and it was interesting. They gave him remdesivir, and that's the anti-malaria drug that they gave the very first patient in America, which was in Everett, Washington. A lot of people don't know that. But that's what they gave him. And when they gave that to him, and that guy had come directly from Wuhan, China. And when they gave it to them, I said, that's when I said, and everybody started, including Trump, started talking about the hydroxychloroquine. And I said, well, why isn't anybody talking about remdesivir? And then all of a sudden it started getting more momentum. So I don't know, maybe each case is different. It looks like this disease is very mysterious to us, to our doctors and our scientists. But anyway, and then the other end is maybe this becomes a more sobering moment for our president. Maybe he now that he's got it, and maybe, you know, people within his inner circle, as they're getting it, maybe this sobers him up a little bit to where he says, okay, maybe I do need to take this a little seriously. And maybe he, you know, I can't see him going all the way in, because he, you know, he does want he needs the economy, or he's not going to get elected. He needs the economy to be as strong as he can make it. He needs it to start heading, or, you know, continue heading in a positive direction, or he's not going to get reelected. And that's just simple. You know, people vote for their paychecks. And, you know, so if that's why I'm waiting for this stimulus thing to get passed right before he gets, right before election day. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a crazy election. This is going to be, I mean, with all the mail-in ballots, with all, I mean, dude, we may not know for weeks or even months who our next president is, if it's continuing to be Trump or if it's President Biden. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. So far, I mean, it's just this adding, I think this is adding like a more of a climax, like a climactic ending to this presidential just election run. It's just crazy.
It doesn't get more 2020 than that.
Oh man, I swear this whole year's been like a fucking movie. I'm not talking about like a good movie. It's been like a suspense / horror film, dude.
It's like a sci-fi movie. It really is. I mean, you talk about this mysterious disease, and, you know, and then you throw in your conspiracies, like, oh, maybe China did this on purpose, and, you know, and then you throw in the economy, and now the left doesn't want the president to win, so they destroy the economy themselves. And I mean, it just plays out in this crazy movie that all of us would probably tune out in the first 45 minutes, you know, like, I don't know if I can do this.
Change this channel real quick.
Yeah, done.
Channel.
But we have to live it.
Oh man, that is even crazy. That is even crazier. But yeah, dude, we just gotta wait. I mean, one more month, right? Is it one more month?
November 3rd, and to the day. Yeah. Yep.
Fuck. Well, I mean, all the people here with the Tidbits podcast, we just got to tune in, hold on, and enjoy the ride and see what happens, baby. Yeah, but we'll stick through with you guys. Don't worry. We'll definitely keep on delivering these awesome episodes to keep you, you know, as a company through this whole fucking just wildness of a fucking year. So, I mean, hey, dude, it's good content, baby.
Yeah.
What is it? So we wanted to talk about a little bit more on the last episode. Towards the end, we were mentioning the whole Joe Budden incident, on just what his fight is with, you know, him kind of just pretty much saying fuck you to Spotify in a way. And that's kind of how I understood it. I mean, I could be wrong, of course, just because of from what I know and just kind of what he was talking about. So, so since we kind of talked about a little bit about it before, it just seemed to me that he's kind of fighting the fight for other people that, you know, obviously have a platform to not get pretty much screwed over by these big companies. Because in my eyes, I kind of see Spotify being this gigantic streaming platform where they expect to pay little, but they want a lot of content from you so they can keep their mega corporation machine running. Yeah. And then when you say it that, or when you see it that way, it's kind of a fuck thing, because so how are you supposed to set the price for me or you know, set the price for anybody else just so you can fucking live good and, you know, and eat off that? And what about us, you know? That's kind of how I saw it. And that's the way he was explaining it. And I don't know, this whole tension beef, or if it is a beef, whatever, I really think it's just kind of more of a misunderstanding between him and Charlemagne. He was kind of,
is Charlemagne against him or what?
Well, from what he was saying is that he actually himself partnered up with iHeartRadio, right? iHeartRadio is another platform where you see a lot of like podcasts and all that stuff, like web shows and all that, I believe. Yeah. And he's with the Breakfast Club there. So he actually signed a joint venture with iHeartRadio to do a kind of like a section of podcasts called The Black Effect or something like that. And it's a list of different podcasts, right? And Joe Budden was saying, well, if everybody's preaching this whole thing about why not do it on our own and let's be independent about it, why do we have to do this partnership? Why can't it just be on your own? I mean, you got the resources, you got the money to do this on your own, where it's under your own umbrella. You're not answering to nobody, you're answering to yourself, and you're the boss, you know, which is true because they talk a lot about that. You know, that's kind of like the major picture. But they were more like, you know, kind of going back and forth. He's like, nah, what me and you are doing are different. You know, I'm trying to just solely be on my own where I got to answer to nobody, you know, and I know my worth and, you know, I'm going to do my own thing on my end. So I kind of get from both perspectives. Like, yeah, I understand kind of a little bit, but I mean, I'm just seeing it from the outside looking in. I really don't know the details from within to see like what really, you know, is going on the paperwork or whatever, what the deals are, but just me speculating. Right. I understand a little bit what Joe Budden's doing in a sense to where he's kind of like on that Dame Dash shit where like, you know, if these guys don't want to, you know, appreciate the culture or appreciate us on what we believe we're worth, why the fuck do I got to do it with them and I can just do it on my own? And I think that's what Joe Budden is running with, where he's like, fuck it. Spotify is not trying to like, let me know the details on how they're actually coming up with these numbers on saying that, you know, okay, we're going to give you this deal because we think you're worth this much. You know what I'm saying? Where Budden's like, well, it's kind of funny that you're offering me that when I know the numbers that I bring to your platform. I mean, they were rated number one, podcast on their platform for a good while. So, I mean, he has that to back it up, you know, to back up his, you know, I don't know if he was like requesting a big number or a large sum for a deal, but I mean, I would think it would have to be like up there in the Joe Budden, not the Joe Budden, but like in the Joe Rogan. Yeah, dude. I mean, and he's also having issues too, right? Supposedly, like they're having issues to where they're trying to censor him.
Well, I don't know if like Joe Rogan has been quiet as a mouse.
Yeah,
with all this,
surprise.
He's not saying nothing. So
yeah,
Joe Rogan. So here's I don't know much about the Joe Budden, although I will say, so I get, dude. At the end of the day, it's all about what money I can put in my pocket, right? So no matter what you say about how you think that the industry should be, if I've got this company, so say Spotify is saying they're going to give me some money, right? And maybe I don't feel that I'm ready to put all that energy to go the independent route. So I'm just happy. I'm happy getting a little bit of that change. Maybe it's not what I think it should be, like if I was on my own. But dude, you got to understand, like Spotify and YouTube and, you know, all these platforms, dude, they built this thing. They built this platform. And if you know, I mean, if you got so much to say, then start your own platform. Start your own platform. And I'm just saying, that's just devil's advocate. At the same time, you look at these companies that come in and then they get too big. Then they start taking too much. That's the whole thing that we were talking about also with Apple taking 30% from all of these developers. Is saying, hey, you're going to give us 30% right off the top, when really you're just like, that's a lot of money just to give you guys like 30%. And, you know, it's hard. It's a very competitive atmosphere. It's a very competitive game. And so is podcast, dude. Anybody, you and I included, can sit down and we can talk about money, we can talk about music, we can talk about whatever you want us to talk about. And if I got a company right now saying, hey, we'll give you $100,000, you know, and you and I, we're gonna sit there and be like, okay, 50,000 each. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? Because we, you know, then you got to take your tax from that, and then you're left with like, nah, probably got to pass on that. You know, we'll just keep doing our own thing. And that's where you and I get to sit and decide, okay, well, do we sell merch? Do we do this? Do we do that? You know, what are our options? And I think that every person that has some sort of beef with Spotify, with the big guns, guess what? If the big guns get to the point where they start taking too much away, this is where capitalism is beautiful. Spotify wasn't always around, right? YouTube was the king. iTunes was the king.
Napster too. Do you remember Napster?
Napster.
Yeah, I think they were a streaming platform too. If I don't know if I got that one correctly.
Sharing.
Yeah, so it was kind of like that in a way where like you could make up a song, put it on there, right? And share it.
Yeah, it was weird though. Like it was, I mean, the reason why it doesn't exist is because the artist never got any of their money. And so Metallica was the one that really came out hard against them and saying, hey, listen, if we're putting our CDs in CD stores, back then there were still CD stores, record stores. You could go get your music from there. There was no such thing as streaming, right? And so how Napster worked was I would have a catalog of music, right? And I would upload all those music. Now, the music, it's only to the best quality that I can give it,
Mm-hmm.
So if I have the real CD, then you're going to get the best quality.
Yeah.
But if I've got, hey Eddie, can I get that copied disc that you have? And it might be spotty. There were viruses also.
Mm-hmm.
And so people were downloading, but I mean, I was in the Napster age. I can't tell you. And BearShare.
Oh, BearShare.
BearShare.
There was a ton. Winamax
Killed my computer.
Kazaa.
BearShare was full of viruses.
Dude, you're taking us back into memory lane, man. Yeah, there was a BearShare, Winamax, Napster, Kazaa.
Oh yeah.
There was a bunch, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
So guess what? Apple read it like a book, being the pioneers that they used to be, said, okay, people want quick access to music. So they worked out a deal with the record labels and said, okay, hey, we'll give these. Now the artists were pissed. The artists were like, no, how can you only, we're supposed to sell whole albums. We don't want you to sell the whole songs. Well, guess what? Capitalism at the end of the day won. And so the deal, the record labels said, yeah, we like this. We're going to make a shit ton of more money doing it this way, the Apple way, than we will with there. And then everybody followed in Apple's lead. So that's the way it is. I mean, so, if you don't like what Spotify's doing, and I'm talking, this is to Joe Budden. Joe Budden doesn't like what Spotify's doing. Start Buddenify, start something, start your own platform and shut up, quit bitching and get your own talent in there. Start paying your own talent what you think they should get paid, and take your own 30% off the top. But these people that complain about the big guy, and it's hard. Like, I find myself, I'll complain sometimes if I know that I can never get enough money. But hey, man, there's a lot of people out there that if you put a plan together, you can, especially, Joe Budden, he's in that position where he knows enough people in the game. Look at Jay-Z. He didn't like what the companies were paying record labels. So he started Tidal Music. Mm-hmm. He thought Apple was a joke, right? Because that's what these companies go through cycles. It's just a natural cycle. There's a sunrise and there's a sunset to every single company out there.
Yeah.
So, you don't like the company when it's in its sunset, start a new one. Make a company have a sunset.
I think that's where he's going to as well. He's just going to stay independent, which is actually a better, road for him because he doesn't got to pretty much answer to nobody at that point, and you're going to get whatever you feel like you should get for whatever, that is that you do in the, with regards to your podcast and all that. But I mean, I understand where he's coming from, and respect him that he doesn't want to, he wants to start a trend because this could start a trend for everybody, like, because at the end of the day, these big guys want content creators to keep them going, and they're always going to need that. So at the end of the day, I mean, we kind of hold that power to where if people start kind of waking up and seeing the big picture, then of course, they'll follow in those footsteps. But I mean, it's like Dame would say, like, they all look at you like you're crazy at first, but why are you crazy to think of something that, they're afraid to take that first step to actually doing it? And it's true, because sometimes people just are afraid of the unknown, and they don't want to be looked at as the failures or the crazy ones that want to start something off like that, to be one of the very first people. And like he said, for him on Dame, when I'm talking about Dame, he's like, I'm gonna start my own, what is it, a streaming service, and he has Dame Dash Studios now. He has his own. He does his own.
Guys.
He does his own shows, his own movies. He's fucking doing it.
The one
Respect.
person that I really admire in the entertainment business is named Tyler Perry, the producer.
Oh, dude, yeah, his
He
story
has
is crazy.
his own studio, his
Fucking
own
baller.
movie studio,
Dude.
That's amazing. That's like,
Yeah.
if you don't like what they're doing, start small, build
Yeah.
and then invest. If you can invest in yourself, and I think that's the biggest secret that people have to understand. If you don't like something, if you don't like where you're at, this to every Tip Touch listener right now, you don't like where you're at, invest in yourself. If you, because you know what you're capable of, you know what your passions are. We live in this weird society where people say, oh, follow your dreams. Well, guess what? Those dreams take capital. You can't just up and decide to go, if you're in, say you're an Uber driver and you're like, man, I really hate doing this Uber driving, right? But what I really want to do is I want to be a chef, right? How are you going to be a chef? You're going to have to invest in yourself. That means time. That means watching those YouTube videos. That means taking a part-time job as a chef. That means, enrolling in culinary school with your own money. Invest in yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what these big dogs dig. That's what I bash Amazon all the time, even though I have Amazon stock. But that's what they did. They took loss after loss after loss when it was just Amazon books, right? When it was just, you would order books online and everybody was clowning them like, oh, I'm going to order books online, And then guess what? What they were doing was they were taking all that money and they were building warehouses all around the United States. And their vision was what we know today, where those warehouses are full of stuff that now you're buying and you're not laughing at them anymore.
Oh man, they're a mega fucking company now, man. Speaking of Amazon, I want to throw this out there real quick. Linwood Mall, right? I went to the mall, I would say like about a week ago. They actually have an Amazon store in there.
Was there yesterday.
Oh, okay, dude. Bear with me. Bear with me.
Yeah.
I can see that being the future, bro. Amazon stores. Okay. Amazon stores.
Drop off points. What the store is.
Okay, so let's give a little brief detail, just vision, everybody right now. Listen to Tip Touch Podcast. Close your eyes real quick. And, it's pretty much a website in a physical store. And when I say that, you walk in, you have your different little sections of, they got like home decor, baby and child section, electronics, dude, they have, you name it. They have a section for everything. And they have a little bit of everything, like various items within the store. Like for example, I'll throw a quick one. This is how much they're really beating the other guys. I saw a pair of Apple AirPods Pro, right? Originally they're $249.99. Amazon store had it for $219.
Yes.
Stuff like that, right? You see it, and that I feel like that's going to be the new wave where they're going to put these stores in different locations. But not only that, they're going to make them a drop-off points, maybe delivery points where you want to pick up your packages you order from the online sites. And, hey, we don't have that certain item you're looking for, but, hey, come on, we'll order the one you need. You'll pick it up tomorrow.
Okay.
Or something like that, right?
And I would like to add to that when you're...
All right, let's go now. Let's hear it.
So it's actually called an Amazon 4-star store, called Amazon 4-star. And so what that means is that everything in that store has a rating of 4 stars or more. So it's the things that they know that are rated, they know people want. So I bought...
Interesting. I didn't notice that.
Yep. And that's what they have. And then you look at the price, right? So if you're, it's like a drug. They just have me. So you go in and you see what the price is, right? Yeah. So I was getting my daughter Curious George book series, right?
Yeah.
Says $43. But if you're a Prime member,
oh yeah,
I am,
which I am too,
$23.
Yep.
And I'm like, ballin'. So then I'm like, the dopamine is running through my head. So I tell my wife, you should get something too. This is too good of a deal. You got to get something. And then I ended up getting Actually, I got this
Little planner.
little leather planner for
Oh,
2021.
nice.
Yep. So
Big dreams, baby.
that's, yeah,
2021.
I'm just getting ready to start planning out for the 2021, baby. So, but yeah, I mean, dude, it's amazing.
It's
It's just they have their finger on the pulse.
oh,
Amazon
dude.
got it going on, and if you're Walmart and you're Target especially, dude, you got to be stressing out. You got to be like, man, our days are numbered. You know, they've seen so many retailers go out of business already.
Yeah.
How long is it before Target finally says, we're done?
Yeah, it's interesting to see what's going to happen with them, and also just in reference to, you were talking about the prices, when you see the price tags on how much it drops when you're a Prime member. I think that's a tactic for them, bro, because when you see something like of a good price, especially like a price gouge from going, like you were saying, $49 or $43 to 23,
Yep.
it's like, you're like, shit, this is a fucking good deal. Why not? Let's buy this. Oh shit, what else do they have that could be around that same discounted price for Prime members? And you start looking, and that's how they got you, dude, because you're looking
Oh
constantly
yeah.
for. And that's what I was doing too when I went in there. I was just looking at the price. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. You get such a discount for being a Prime member. And I didn't buy anything surprising that day, but I was just looking at stuff to see just what it's all about, because I've seen it before, the Amazon store overall, but I never really went into it because there was a line to get into, to get into the store. So I just didn't go in until not too long ago, not like maybe like a week ago. And it's cool. It's a cool spot. And
You
I think it's gonna open up a bunch of other different little stores, and we're gonna see that more often here
have you
soon.
checked out the Amazon Go store in Seattle?
I haven't. No, I haven't. Have
Do
you?
you know what that's about?
Wait, is it the grocery store?
Yeah, grocery
Okay, no, I
store.
never. It's like your self checkout and all that.
Cashier list. No, not even self checkout. You just
Dude.
walk out because, like, and I haven't been in this, but this is how it's been explained: is
Okay.
where you go in and you have your Amazon app going on, and so it reads that you're there, right?
Okay.
So then there's this like sensor that you take the product off the shelf, and as soon
Okay.
as you take the product off the shelf, it registers that it's in your cart, right?
And your phone.
In your phone. Yep, and it's
Insane.
talking to the from the store system to your phone. Yep. So then when you're done, right, and you've got your little reusable bag that we use in Washington, and you fill that up, and as soon as you walk out the store, that's when it bills you. No
Insane.
cashiers.
Wow. Huh. And I just think that's going to be, again, that's going to be implemented here, maybe with all the other grocery stores, or it's just going to completely take out. It's going to be an
Dude,
Amazon
riots are going to
grocery.
be so much funner.
Oh, really?
Nobody's there to stop you.
Oh, they just fucking, let's go.
Just leave the phone home.
Just leave I left it in the car. That's insane. But here we are. So in regards to competition, right? Walmart, I think they're much of a big powerhouse too, where they're going to put up a good fight with Amazon, because they're
Yes.
kind of doing the same thing they're kind of replicating the idea, right? Where they're having third party sellers selling items on their websites, and they're doing like the local pickup and delivery, of course. And what's crazy too, that, I mean, I sent you an article about it. They're paying their employees a little bit more than before, right? They're making, I think some positions they were saying it was like $30 plus. So I
Wow.
mean,
Yeah.
I think they're definitely.
Yeah, the one thing I like that Walmart is doing that I just love, right? Because one of my biggest complaints about Walmart is having to actually go in the store.
Yeah.
It's never a pleasant experience. It just never is. It's just the lines, it's the people, it's just not pleasant, So what they do now, and this is not a knock on any Walmart shopper, but knock on some of them. But anyway, so this thing where you can order everything online or whatever, and then you pull up and it has the designated spot. So it says, okay,
Yeah.
if your order whatever, then you go in there and then they just bring it to you, load up your. I'm like, man, this is so Jetsons.
Dude,
This is so
it's crazy,
George
right?
Jetson.
And Fred Meyers does that too as well. It's so convenient, man. You just park in there,
Have you
call
done
the
that?
number. Oh, dude, yeah, multiple
Oh,
times.
I need
Love
to
it.
do it.
Love it. Dude, you're gonna be like, yeah, I could get used to this. Just order everything online, order it maybe on your break, pick it up, done.
Man,
Done.
I could
That's my
just
road
see
trip.
myself with just a cigar, about 200 more pounds. Like, yeah, hey, can you move that blanket over?
Throw your
You
smokes
know,
back there.
I've just got food crumbs all over my face.
What is it?
You
Your
know,
cigarette, the cigarette holder or put outer thing you have in your center console's all stuffed with like cigarettes overflowing.
and even they're just like, thank God we don't let this guy in our store anymore. He was the one that made us look bad.
Oh man, the future, man. It's wild, man. It's wild to see all these changes in comparison to back, like 06, 07 up until now, 2020. It's just like, fuck, dude, what a leap,
We are
man. What a
finally
leap.
living in the future. Yeah, the
Literally, man.
future is finally there.
And you always kind of had that like thought that by then we would have like flying cars and all this stuff. Like, man, I wonder what 2019 or 2010 is going to look like and all that. We always just would think it's going to be so far into the future where it's going to be like almost Jetson like. But even these little things, like these little minor tweaks, like you got Uber Eats, you got Amazon Prime, you got the Amazon Go store, you got, going to the grocery store and just having your groceries just loaded in for you. Wow, man. Well, another crazy thing is too. I was talking to Milca. Shout out to Milca. She's definitely the official Tip Touch podcast Barber, as you can tell. Line my boy
Boom.
up here, as you
Look
can
at
tell.
this.
Me too, as
All
well.
Milka right
But anyways, I was talking to her about mobile barbing, where I think it was in Europe or in Germany. I was reading an article that this owner of a barbershop had like two Mercedes Sprinter vans, turned them into mobile barbershops, and had two seats in each Sprinter. And he would do like local calls from within certain areas on certain days. So like he'll post up a schedule like, hey, on these days I'm gonna be up in this area. So if you're around this area, book an online appointment from these time frames, and I'll go to you. And obviously they're gonna charge you a premium price. But think about it, Brett. Let's say they charge you 50, $60, right? But they go in front, they park right in front of your home right there and chop you up, and you don't have to even go anywhere anymore. And I mean,
Man.
and haircuts are kind of like where I go pretty often. I'll admit that, and I bet there's like actually when I went in there yesterday, there was a couple that went in there, and they were from California, I believe, because I was overhearing a little bit of their conversation because they were asking the barbers there um, if there was a lot of competition within the area, like barbers
Hmm.
wise. And they were saying that in California, every barbershop on every corner is always full. It's just overflowing with people. I mean,
Wow.
there's just, they're always busy, right? So how can you say that that wouldn't even be like a legitimate move to do something like that, where you do
That
a
would be
mobile
dope.
barbing, right?
That would be dope.
I
Like,
would
I
do
think
it.
somebody should just try that just to do it,
Oh, dude,
whether they use it or not.
we're just letting out an idea right now, and I was talking to her about it, and she's
Put some
like,
ice cream music on that bitch. The barber's here.
we're running out.
Just don't do it when you're moving, though. Like,
Yeah,
come out with
right.
that straight razor.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's dude. I mean, that I see that being a possibility, man. I see that really coming to fruition here.
That's something. If like Milka was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing that. That's something I would invest in. I'd be like,
Yeah,
hey, what kind of percentage can we talk here?
I know,
I'll
right?
invest. I'll give you this percentage, and then yeah,
That's where you gotta bust
I
out
would
the Shook
invest in
Knight
that.
cigar, the Shook Knight
Oh
cigar
yeah,
with the red polo. What are we
yeah, dude.
talking?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but it's
I
nuts,
love
man.
that.
It's nuts that we're moving at such a fast pace in regards to just you know everything being such a convenience to us, and we're almost like we're getting too spoiled to the point where like, man, I have to be real, man. I gotta be real with the audience. I gotta be real here on the Tip Touch podcast. But Uber Eats is a fucking weakness, man. Uber Eats is
Oh,
like, I constantly kind of think about like, and there's sometimes where my wife, she does a lot, taking care of her little girl. She's on mom mode, and there's times where I know she's tired and she doesn't want to cook. It's like it's all good, let's just fucking let's order something in Uber Eats and we'll be cool. But see, it's the mind just automatically fucking comes up with like, hey, don't worry, we got it
well,
covered. Just fucking open up your app, order something, boom,
check
delivered to you.
this out. Okay,
All right,
so I was talking to my wife. We went to the pumpkin patch last week,
yeah,
And it was, you know, we're driving to the pumpkin patch normal. But I was telling her, I said, you know, I said, as these vehicles become autonomous, there is talk in the car world where that might become a business in and of itself, where like, you know, like Budget and name some car business, Enterprise and
Budget
Avis,
enterprise.
right? Instead of them offering cars rentals for you to come and drive yourself, basically they would turn their whole business into, okay, now we're going to have a whole fleet of autonomous vehicles that drive themselves all day long, and they become your Uber and your Lyft, but driverless. So say I'm going to work, right? And then so I basically what they do is it takes car ownership away from us, because they're going to have these prices down so low, because these cars are going to be going nonstop, nonstop, nonstop. They're always going, going, going. And they're taking you right to your house, right? So it drops you off. And then as soon as it drops you off, it's going on to the next person. And it's along those lines of that Uber Eats, you know, where you can either get the food yourself, or if you yourself need to go to, you're no longer taking the bus. I mean, the bus would still be there, I'm sure. But as soon as you have these autonomous vehicles, you no longer have to, like, you're looking at car insurance yourself and you're like, why would I pay this? Why would I pay? And maybe insurance goes up. Maybe fuel goes up. Maybe car prices go up. And so eventually and again, these are people that I've heard. I don't know where I heard it, but it was some sort of an interview with an economist and someone at some prestigious school. And they said that within they were saying the next 10 years that this would happen, that basically car ownership would be useless. It would be a non-issue. Nobody would own vehicles anymore. And me, you know, that's why, like, you know, I tell myself, don't lose the humanity in this. Don't stop becoming a human. And so I will go into the grocery stores. I will drive myself places. I will, you know, and so I think that there's going to be a lot of resistance, especially in this country. I mean, in this country, we really, well, some of us pride ourselves on doing everything ourselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at but you look at, I mean, we used to cook our own food every night, you know. Now we had, and then all of a sudden in the 80s, you had meals made for you. You know, that all you had to do is just throw it in the microwave.
Yeah.
And it just got easier and easier and easier. Now we literally, like you just said, with Uber Eats and Grubhub, they just bring the food to you. The food you want. The food you want. Just bring it to you.
Yeah, and also in regards to what you were talking about, how the food, you know, your microwave and all that, they actually have services now to where, all right, you want these type of meals? There's this package you can pay $60. Let's just say $60, right? They actually give you all the ingredients, all the protein to make this special dish. All you got to do is just throw it together, cook it, you're done. You don't got to go to the grocery store anymore. You don't got to. We'll deliver everything you need.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
Wild, family. Wild.
In the future.
Oh, dude. Fucking amazing. We're just getting too spoiled. Like I said, man, we just spoiled kids.
Really, like, what does that do for work? You know, I mean, it's literally like there is a paradigm shift taking place right in front of us. And I think that this pandemic couldn't have happened at I don't want to say convenient time. That would be horrible to say, but a more almost like perfect time, you know, just right as we were trying to change these behaviors and adopt to this new way of doing things. Then all of a sudden the coronavirus came and literally forced companies to, hey, if you still want to stay going, but you can't bring the people in, but you can have them working remotely. It did it. So people are saying, hey, these companies, they say we do really well when there's an ongoing project, right? But they really want people to all be together when they're starting a new project. That's where they need all the ideas and everybody together. But once they get that done, boom, you can work remotely again.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, it's just
yeah.
amazing. It's just this, like I said, this paradigm shift, except for, stuff like you look at people that can't work from home. You look at people who are working at chicken farms. You look at
Yeah.
people who, hospitals, the doctor
Mhm.
has to be there. At the hospital, nurses. Yeah. It's just, so there's just always going to be those people that can't.
Yeah.
But so it's just crazy. It's just really, the paradigm shift is taking place right in front of us. And a good book for people to read is a book. I forget who the author is, but it's a very popular book when it comes to entrepreneurs and finance and all that, is Who Stole My Cheese? Or
Who stole my cheese? I
No,
love the
and
title.
it's a story about two mice, and basically one mouse, he's like, the cheese keeps getting moved, and he doesn't want to go through the maze to find it,
Mhm.
So okay, well, you're gonna die then, and so the other mouse has to learn how to adapt to the constant changes. The maze is always going to change, and if you can't adapt to change, you're going to die. Who moved my
Okay.
cheese?
Okay.
So
I
it's a
see what you're
great, I
saying.
mean, so basically I just summed up the whole story, but it goes into more detail, of course, but it's a great, it's a great book to understand the times we're living in. It's
For sure.
Everything is changing. So learn how to adapt.
And that's what we're doing too, baby, right now in the flesh. This is a fucking prime example of adapting to the game.
Yes.
With us doing this on the virtual side of things, on, trying to deliver an episode every week for all you little people to listen to. When there's a will, there's a way. And we're finding, we found a way to do that. We found a way to be consistent, doing this for, putting it out there and uploading it, and just the video side of it too. I mean, we're adapting to it, and that's just what everybody's doing right now, especially during these times as well. So it's in survival mode. I feel like everybody's kind of in survival mode now, and that it automatically turned out that trigger for that. So I agree with you. Who stole my cheese,
Dude,
baby?
my wife, I'm just looking at myself in the camera. She asked me if I shaved my eyebrows, and I'm like, no. Like, are they that perfect that you think I shaved them?
Oh, dude, yeah, she's
I've
probably
never shaved
jealous.
my eyebrows.
Yeah. Yeah,
Are they
man.
good? Do they look nice?
Oh yeah, man. We should take a poll. We should take a poll on this episode if your eyebrows look good.
Oh man, that's so funny. Yeah, yeah, man, crazy times. But yeah, you're right. I mean, everything's changing, and including yourself. I mean, look at this election year. You're not going to vote in person. You're
Yep.
mailing in your ballot.
Mailing the ballot. Different wave.
Man, and our
It's gonna
president
get
has
interesting,
COVID.
man. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, we're in October, November, December.
Man,
Lock the locks on fucking 2020, and let's open the door to 2021 and see what happens, man. I just hope that it's a better. We're hoping for the best. Hoping that it's definitely gonna be a little bit more on the positive side, and that's what we can all do. Really,
dude.
is really hope for the best and just just go from there.
I know we're rounding up the show, but I don't know if you know this. I don't know if
Okay.
you, I have some news to break,
All right.
but a
Let's hear
former
it.
guest of ours, there's a retirement amongst us. Do you know
Okay.
what I'm talking about?
Oh, I think I might know. And yes. Okay.
Okay. You
think I
know.
know.
You
I
knew.
know.
You knew?
The way I found out, and I don't want to, obviously it's one of those things where we want to keep kind of under wraps just because
No, it's public now. It's
oh, it's
public.
public now.
Yeah, we can
Oh
talk about
shit.
it. I
Okay.
I got the clearance.
Oh, we got the clear. Oh, you made the legit moves to make it real. Yes. So, let's say you go ahead and say his name. I'll let you. Let the people know.
Let me, and I think it's episode 29
Okay.
on the Tip Touch podcast. He was a guest on episode 29. I'm just confirming real quick.
Checking the interwebs right now.
Episode 29.
Okay.
Christian Helly, and
Shout out to Christian.
episode was entitled "Burning Ships," and we were directly talking about what just took place. He literally was burning the ship that he was talking about on the episode. Again, another person. I'm telling you, man, if we tend to be a magnet to people who are just doing things, it is the most beautiful thing.
As beautiful as that.
Don't edit that out. Leave that in.
Okay, I'll leave it. I'm leaving that in, baby. I'm leaving that in.
Make it louder.
Oh, dude, I'll fucking enhance that. I'll zoom in.
Make it huge. But anyway, and so he was talking about not feeling happy, not being fulfilled in the daily grind of what we do, you know?
Yeah.
And it was such an inspiring episode. In fact, it was inspiring to me. I told him, like, I've listened to that episode and like it changed the way that I thought about things, to where, what am I doing? Why am I not following some of the things that I should be doing? You know, there's areas in life where I want to help people. I want to help people with certain things, and I'm like, why don't I just get certified and get the certifications and the licenses to do these things? Why am I holding back? You know? And so that episode, it really moves some things for me. So some of the moves that I'm ready to make, it's a lot of it is because of that episode. It's just sitting down and like, man, it's so true, you know? And in some of the things that you and I are talking about doing, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love what we're doing. But anyway, so Christian, he says, I'm done. I'm out. He's taking a very stable, very secure, very safe job. And in the middle of a pandemic, saying, adios, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And he's doing his own thing. Now, I don't know what his own thing is. I don't know what, I know, but I don't know what I can say about anything other than if you listen to the podcast, he was pretty much talking about what he wanted to do on the podcast. And yeah, dude, he's great. Although I will say, I don't know if he's like took his page down, but the website that he gives us on episode 29,
yeah,
if you go to it, if you click on the website, he took it down. So I think maybe he's just refreshing it for the new chapter, for the new and improved.
Yeah.
So right now at this moment, it's down, but anyway, so he did it.
Yeah, I told him when he told me, I was kind of surprised, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, man, if this is truly what, you know, you're passionate about, that, you know, obviously makes you happy doing, and you'll be happy waking up every morning to do every day and tackle on, dude, power to you, brother. You know, I wish you the best, and I hopefully, you know, you'll definitely, you know, go those multiple levels and just go only higher from here. And I told him, like, I eventually want to get to that point too, bro. I've always told you that off air, man. And the goal and the main objective of this, for all the people listening out there, it would be a dream of mine. And, you know, I'm only speaking for myself, to do this full time and to do 100%. This, you know, where we take this to the next motherfucking level and just do not just the podcasting side of it, but for me, like, I'm learning how to edit all the videos that you see on the YouTube page. I've edited those, and I learned basically, like, I've told Brett, I went on YouTube, saw all these videos, learned how to do it. Yeah. I messed with it on my own. I got the program, I got the camera, and that's an investment. I'll look at, and then when I think about it, and I was telling Christian this as when we were walking out and we were talking about it, I'm like, it's a trip to think that I know how to do that. And it doesn't really dawn on me until I think about it, and I'm kind of just sitting there and talking to my wife, or we're just having just a random conversation. I'm like, I really know how to fucking edit now. Like, at least I know the basics. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say I'm a wizard at it, but I know the basics and enough to just really, you know, make all those videos happen. And this is only the beginning, because I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to just, you know, increase my level of knowledge when it comes to stuff like that. And I actually like doing it. So in the midst of all this, it's like I actually found something that I like doing. So, but back to my main point, I was telling him I eventually want to get to that level where I'm like, man, you know, fuck this, dude. I'm just gonna do my thing. I'm gonna take the Tip Touch podcast, take it to the new heights, and maybe do the media side of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, talk to different people, go out to different events. You know, just go out there and fucking create content, because content is king. That's what people like watching. People are always out there trying to watch something that of interest, that, you know, that interests him or her. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I see it, you know, from here on out. And we'll see what happens, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to the future. I mean, 2020 is about to close its chapter, and 2021 is just around the corner, man. And obviously, dude, I can just say on air right now, live, that I'm proud of how far we've come so far. And I always look at that picture of when we first started an Instagram page where we only had like, I think it was like two followers, like 4 followers or 2 followers, and we're almost at 800. And it's not even about like it being a numbers thing or a followers thing, but it's from 2 to those 700. I think we're at 767 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The move, just how much we progress as a podcast from then till now, learning the things we know, learning how to edit, finding a way to adapt to this pandemic we were going through to deliver these new episodes, and to just keep this fucking driving force just going on ahead and just not stopping. It's the fact of just the adventure from then till now. That's what I would remind myself constantly. This is just the beginning, and this is only just one of those little milestones that I'm gonna say, damn, okay, now we need to go higher with this, and it just pushes me every day more and more and more. So dude. Yeah, man. I mean, just going with what we were saying though, and with all that, it's awesome. I'm happy for him, and I'm stoked to see where he goes from this, because I definitely, we're witnessing another journey of a fellow friend that, he's doing something that he's passionate about, and he loves doing. So
I'm telling you, man,
power to him, man. Power to him.
I'm gonna start calling this the tip touch effect, because
oh yeah,
it seems that everybody we cross paths with, all of a sudden we're like, we're doing this episode. They're small in the beginning, getting little buzz here and there. And then all of a sudden, next thing you hear is like, hey, did you hear?
It's good moves. Yeah.
So-and-so's doing this. So-and-so's doing that.
Dude, and it's all love with us, man. It's all love seeing just the people that we've rubbed doubles with, to see them progress and to reach those objectives and reach those goals. And that makes us happy, because it's the fact that we're witnessing the journey, but it's the fact that we know these people firsthand, and we see that drive that we see in ourselves that they have too. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying is so amazing about what we're doing, is like, we obviously have our eye on these talents before the rest of the world has caught on.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what it's like, dude, we are ahead of the game. We're ahead of the curve. We are telling you what is going to be hot before you even realize it.
Oh, dude, we're fucking, was it talent agency scouters, dude?
Yeah. We should start our own business.
Oh, dude, I know. Oh, Suge Knight, baby.
Talent coach.
Brett Knight.
Oh, yeah. I need to do that one time. Just get my
the red
blazer.
suit.
Yeah, baby.
The red suit. Yeah, baby. With the freaking sunglasses and all that.
Got to do it, man. I got to do it. One of these events, maybe we'll find ourselves in a music video someday, and maybe I'll make an appearance of Brett Knight there.
Yeah, baby. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, man. I mean, we've done a nice little solid session tonight. I mean, we're almost, I believe, 2 hours in, if I can calculate that correctly from when we started to now. But I mean, as always, dude, it's always awesome to have these conversations, and it's always good because when we start on a solid convo and we go to, when we reach the end, it's like, fuck it, it didn't feel like anything.
I know.
And that's what I love about it.
I know.
Just to capture it, and share it with the people. It's fucking dope, dude. I love it.
Yep. I always get excited because I'm like, oh, I was thinking about like, oh, did I say anything that embarrassed myself? Probably. But the cool thing is it's all out of my hands. It's all in your hands.
Oh, dude.
You do all the editing.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, not me.
I will remember
on reality TV all over again.
No, I mean, it's more of like, I would give you like a wink signal to know, like, okay, you're pushing the threshold just a little too much. You know what I'm saying? But I think we're good. We're good. We're not to that point where we can go fucking balls deep in it and just say, fuck it, $2 style, fuck the world. How's my new style?
Oh, man. And if Trump ain't in the picture, then I'm rolling with Pence just to give these kids something new to riot against. Oh,
damn, those fucking bars right there. That was a sweet 2 lines? Is that 2 lines?
It was just 2 bars, yeah.
Okay. Give it a 2. Not a sweet 16 yet, but 2.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, people. So for everybody that wants to catch on to this episode and all all the other past previous episodes. Definitely catch us on Spotify and all the other major streaming platforms. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you'll find us there. Just search the Tip Touch Podcast as well. You can catch our video side content on YouTube, and I mean, we're everywhere, baby. We're almost everywhere.
Sir.
Almost. We're we're building our library and just our catalog of all this amazing, just interesting content. And it's only going to be, I hope it's it's crazy, because I always think to myself, damn, we gotta come up with something new, and always kind of try to be kind of creative with it in the approach. And I feel like we talked about this off air, and the reason why this is coming to mind right now is because you said you wanted to kind of spice it up a little bit and have a different approach on the podcast when we do these in live sessions. And I just want to say, don't be surprised what you see next, and don't be surprised on just the little curveballs we might throw at you. All the audience out there that are listening to this, but just sit tight and wait for the newest episodes, and we're gonna keep on bringing it to you every other Friday. And once again, this is Tip Touch Podcast. We're out.